Israel's military said it had tried several times to shoot down a missile fired from Yemen, with send sirens blaring across the center of the country. The latest attack came less than a day after Yemen's Houthi rebels said they launched a missile towards Tel Aviv, which Israeli forces said they intercepted. US President Joe Biden said a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal between Hamas and Israel is on the brink of being finalized. In a farewell speech at the State Department, Biden said the proposed agreement would include a surge of aid to Palestinians in Gaza, the release of hostages held by Hamas, and a halt to the fighting in the enclave. Biden has been working the phones as he seeks a price peace deal in his final days in office before Donald Trump returns to the White House on the 20th of January. US President Joe Biden has announced that 2 future US Navy aircraft carriers will be named after former Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. The future USS William J. Clinton and future USS George W. Bush will be part of the Gerald R. Ford class of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. These carriers are expected to begin construction in the years ahead and will join the most capable and professional Navy fleet in the world. The naming of these carriers follows the Navy tradition of often naming aircraft carriers after US presidents. Lebanon's newly elected President Josephan has nominated Nawaf Salam as the country's prime minister. Nawaf Salam, who has been leading the ICJ since February 2023, has won the support of more than half of the parliamentarians. Salam secured the backing of 84 lawmakers, with 9 endorsing interim Prime Minister Najib Mikati to stay in the position. 71-year-old Salam is currently serving as the head of the International Court of Justice, the United Nations top court. He previously served as Lebanon's ambassador to the United Nations. North Korea launched several short-range ballistic missiles into the East Sea. The launch occurred near North Korea's Gangye area, with the missiles flying 250 kilometers before landing in the sea. Seoul's military detected the launch and is maintaining full readiness while sharing information with the United States and Japan. Acting President Choi Sang-mok condemned the launch, saying it violated UN Security Council resolutions. The launch comes as Japan's Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya visits South Korea, seeking to boost bilateral ties before Trump returns to office next week. Protests in Bolivia have turned violent, with supporters of former President Evo Morales clashing with police in La Paz. The protesters, who were demonstrating against food shortage, rising prices and a lack of fuel and dollars, threw dynamite at police, who responded with tear gas and rubber bullets, injuring several people. Bolivian Minister Eduardo del Castillo attributed the demonstrations to a hearing concerning a probe into Morales over allegations of rape, trafficking and people smuggling. Pakistani security forces claim they have eliminated 27 terrorists in a successful intelligence-based operation in a district of Balochistan. Based on reported terrorist presence, security forces surrounded the location and eliminated the terrorists after a fierce exchange of fire. According to the Inter-Services Public Relations, the terrorists killed in the operation were involved in various terrorist activities against security forces and civilians. ISPR said that the multiple hideouts, including caches of arms, ammunition and explosives, were also destroyed during the operation. Brazil's President Lula da Silva has signed a bill restricting smartphone use in schools, a move that has gained global traction. Starting February, students in elementary and high schools across Brazil will only be allowed to use smartphones in cases of emergencies, for educational purposes, or if they have disabilities. This decision aims to address concerns about the impact of smartphone use on children's mental health, safety, and learning abilities. Education Minister Camilo Santana emphasized the need for responsible smartphone use, stating that the children are going online at increasingly younger ages, making it harder for parents to monitor their activities. Hundreds of supporters of a mayor of one of Turkey's key opposition strongholds gathered outside the Besiktas municipality in Istanbul to protest him against his arrest. Reza Akpola, the mayor of Besiktas municipality, was arrested on Monday as part of a bid-rigging investigation. Prosecutors accused him of being involved in a criminal organization that bribed mayors and senior executives to secure tenders. The Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor's Office stated that the investigation led to arrest warrants for 47 people, including Akpolat and another CHP Mayor Ahmet Ozer. At least 40 farmers were killed in a brutal attack by suspected Islamist militants in Nigeria's Borno state over the weekend. According to State Commissioner of Information Usman Tar, the farmers ventured outside a designated security corridor and into an area known for insurgent activity where they were ambushed. The attack is believed to have been carried out by Boko Haram or its offshoot, Islamic State West Africa province, which have been waging a long-running insurgency in northeast Nigeria. A Haitian judge has postponed the hearing for 19 suspects accused of orchestrating the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. The hearing, which was scheduled to take place on Monday, was delayed until later this month. The judge cited the need for further deliberation and review of evidence in the case. The 19 suspects, including 17 Colombian nationals and 2 Haitians, are accused of playing a role in Moïse's killing on the 7th of July 2021. The assassination sent shockwaves through Haiti and led to a period of political instability. Overall, more than 40 suspects have been arrested in the case. With the Mahakumbh Mela 2025 kicking off in India's Prayagraj, today marks a highly auspicious day with the first Amrit Snan taking place on the occasion of Makar Sakranti. Amrit Snan marks the beginning of the sacred bathing ritual that will take place throughout the festival. This significant event involves all akhadas participating in a traditional bathing sequence. The Mahakumbh Mela, held every 12 years, is a massive gathering of pilgrims, saints and sadhus, attracting millions from around the world. Aerial efforts are currently underway to combat raging LA wildfires. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of hot pink flame retardants are being released from the skies and dropped ahead of the flames in the desperate effort to stop them before they destroy more neighborhoods. The mixture comprises of water, ammonium phosphate fertilizer and iron oxide. Fire agencies are now relying on these retardants to reach inaccessible areas, with the wildfires claiming 24 lives, displacing thousands and destroying over 12,000 structures. Fire retardants remain a crucial tool in combating the blaze. A raging forest fire in Argentina's Nahuel Huapi National Park has consumed over 3,000 hectares of land. As per officials, the blaze, which began nearly 3 weeks ago, continues to spread due to strong winds. On Monday, powerful gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour reignited the fire, generating massive columns of smoke. The strong winds hindered firefighting efforts, preventing brigade members from entering the affected area. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have voiced strong opposition to recent policy changes by Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Meta has replaced its fact-checking program with a community notes system, which critics say enables hate speech and misinformation. In an official statement, they called the changes alarming and accused Meta of prioritizing hate and division over diversity and equity. They urged the company to reinstate policies that protect users and promote online safety, warning that these shifts undermine free speech and threaten democracy. The US tech giant Apple is facing a mass lawsuit brought on behalf of around 20 million iPhone and iPad users in the United Kingdom. Allegedly, Apple abused its dominant position by charging app developers an unfair 30% commission through its App Store, which cost British consumers up to £15 billion overcharged for app purchases. The 7-week trial is being heard at London's Competition Appeal Tribunal. Apple, however, contends the case to be meritless, which overlooks the benefits of consumers of the integrated approach of its iOS operating system, which prioritizes security and privacy. Nominate, the UK domain registry behemoth that maintains co.uk domains, experienced a cybersecurity incident linked to the recent exploitation of the new Avanti VPN vulnerability, the first public information by an organization to have been affected by the bug. The company said it currently has no evidence of data breach or leakage, warning of an ongoing security incident under investigation. Nominate added that it has restricted access to the VPN software while IT investigates the incident. For the visually impaired students in Melbourne, there is now light at the end of the proverbial dark tunnel thanks to breakthroughs in 3D printing technology and groundbreaking guidelines for tactile models developed by Australian researchers. The blind and low vision students are now receiving valuable support in their learning. Gone are the days when handcrafted models were often painstakingly made by teachers, supplies of aids were limited, and models varied across different schools and educational settings. Not just the students with vision impairments, but these 3D printed models have benefited their sighted classmates as well. Tesla surpassed one of Germany's most prized premium car brands last year despite selling fewer vehicles than expected. Volkswagen's Audi sold 1.67 million vehicles in 2024, down 12% from a year prior due to its struggles with rising competition in China and Europe and sluggish demand for its electric models. The brand fell behind Elon Musk's Tesla, which produced 1.79 million vehicles last year. Tesla's year wasn't without issues. The US-based automaker had its first yearly delivery fall in more than a decade and barely held on to its position as the world's leading seller of fully electric vehicles, losing ground to China's BYD. Apple's iPhone sales declined about 5% globally in the holiday quarter, hurt by underwhelming upgrades and competitors making inroads in China. The iPhone market share slipped to 18% worldwide in 2024. Arch rival Samsung Electronics also gave up ground to faster-growing Android device makers from China, led by Xiaomi and Vivo. Apple marked a 2% sales decline for the full year at a time when the wider market grew 4% globally. The dollar hung near its highest in more than 2 years as traders scaled back US rate cuts in 2025 after strong economic data, while investor worries about Britain's fiscal health kept frail sterling in the spotlight. With President-elect Donald Trump set to step back into the White House next week, the focus has been on his policies that analysts expect will boost growth but add to price pressures. The threat of tariffs, along with the Federal Reserve's stated measured approach to rate cuts this year, have lifted Treasury yields and the dollar, putting the euro, pound, and yen and yuan under pressure. Oil prices eased in early trade today but remain near 4-month highs as the impact of fresh US sanctions on Russian oil remain the market's key focus. Headlines surrounding Russian oil sanctions have been a dominant driver for oil prices over the past week, and combined with resilient US economic data, the tighter supply-demand dynamics have been seeing some momentum. Brent now trades around $80 per barrel, while US oil trades around $78 a barrel. Global sales of fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles rose by a quarter last year to move to over 17 million cars, helped by a fourth consecutive month of record sales in December as China continued to grow and Europe stabilized incentives and emissions targets pushed EV sales in China and aided Britain in overtaking Germany as Europe's biggest battery electric market in 2024. Electric car makers are looking at 2025 as a transformative year as China's sales growth slows. New emissions targets are setting off in Europe and questions around potential US policy changes under the incoming Trump administration.